Dayton Arena. And the road to the Final Four continues. The Washington bracket taking center stage as George Mason at 11 takes on the Spartans from Michigan State, a number 6. And the bracket in Washington, D.C., Michigan State, George Mason, the winner taking on North Carolina, Murray State. Our next game, Wichita State and Tennessee already set to knuckle up. George Mason, led by Jim Larinaga in his 9th season. And on the other sideline, it's Tom Izzo, one of the great coaches in college basketball in his 11th year with the Michigan State Spartans. And the starting lineups are Mason on the left, Jai Lewis, big bruiser. Look for him to play well. And Lamar Butler had 19 points against Michigan State last year. Meanwhile, for the Spartans, they have a three-headed monster, Paul Davis in the front court with Mo Ager, a senior from Detroit, and my favorite player in college basketball, Shannon Brown.
Shannon Brown as athletic as they come. And that big three from Michigan State capable of carrying them back to the Final Four.
There's Shannon Brown from Maywood, Illinois. Your officials, Reggie Greenwood, Ken Diddy, and Patrick Evans. Michigan State, George Mason, and State defeated Mason 66-60 on December 5th of 2004 in Washington, D.C. It was the BBNT Classic. Here's Shannon making Ager quickly off the tap, and he gets to the bucket.
Well, you can expect to see that as often as possible. Runouts, loose ball transition. That's what Michigan State thrives on.
So George Mason making their 4th NCAA appearance in school history inside. Very nicely done by Will Thomas.
George Mason is one of those teams that you see Michigan State get down quicker than I can get the words out of my mouth. George Mason, one of those teams, undersized, short-handed, but they'll compete.
George Mason, 23-7 this season. Lewis spinning on the baseline, has it blocked. Goran Sutan blocks it. And George Mason will hold on. What are the keys to this game?
Well, George Mason has the fine points lost without Tony Skinn, their second leading scorer. Skinn averaging 13 points a game, out due to suspension for striking another player in a game that they played in the Colonial Athletic Association tournament.
And Mason calls a timeout. 18:51 to play in the first half. State by 2.
It's an entirely different class of Mercedes-Benz, the R-Class Grand Sports Tourer. More headroom for you, more elbow room for her, more space for him, more luxury, more comfort for them, and them, and them. The R-Class, more of everything to make more people happy. What more could you want? See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a special lease offer through Mercedes-Benz Financial. Value unlike any other. Visit your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today.
Just sit right back and grab some tails, the tails of some tasty shrimp. Sensations now at Applebee's are really worth the trip. Sauteed, crisp fried, a fire grilled, served on a handy skewer. So many shrimp you'll want to plan a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. So join us here this week, my friend. It's time for eating good. Shrimp sensations new at Applebee's in your neighborhood.
The ability to use tools gives us the power to accomplish things. Hand us one and we'll build something. Show us what's broken and we'll fix it. Give us a challenge and we'll beat it. The right tools in the right hands can hold a family or neighborhood together. It isn't so much the gasoline, electricity, or even sweat. It's the engine that's inside each of us. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
10 is less than 50. Powerade Option, the low-calorie sports drink.
I
Hi, Enterprise. I'm at the repair shop, and I need to rent a car.
At Enterprise, we'll arrange to pick you up free and get you on your way.
Nice save, Mom.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS.
Couple of good games coming up. NC State, Cal, Herb Sindex, Wolfpack against Leon Poe and the Golden Bears, Albany, and #1 seeded Connecticut in Washington, D.C., and we will get you to the start of those games shortly. 1 second on the shot clock for George Mason. Down 4-2. Butler, quick fire, got it.
That was just a nice play designed out of the timeout. And Butler with a lot of patience, even though he only had 1 second left, got himself lined up nicely.
Lewis comes up with the steal. He dribbles it out of bounds. And we'll get it back. Michigan State will.
Well, Knight's a little late getting to his man as Michigan State looked like they zoned up that out of bounds play. And just a nice job of hitting the seam of that zone and turning and squaring up.
Now Paul Davis and Neitzel, late catch. Shannon Brown wide open.
You like that stroke, right? He elevates, squares up, proper rotation.
Shannon Brown, the most consistent player for Michigan State since the start of the Big Ten season. He is the son of a Chicago area police officer. Pull-up jump shot, and that goes down for Will Thomas.
Boy, it looks like defensively, Michigan State really testing George Mason, trying to figure out, okay, what do you have? Hence, they've been giving up some wide-open looks.
Sujan too strong on the baseline.
I don't think the tournament is a place to test people. You got to go at them strong.
Nice play, Butler leading it off for Will Thomas. And these two teams, Lenny, going up and down to start.
Well, I mentioned before, George Mason pretty much undersized against Michigan State and shorthanded because they don't have the second leading scorer, Tony Skinn, who averages 13 points a game, but they're competing right now. You wouldn't tell them that they're undersized or shorthanded.
Remember, these two teams met in the BB&T Classic last year. Neitzel, long three, no, and the rebound saved by Shannon Brown. Michigan State winning that game by 6, 66-60. Ager. Now Sutan hesitant after shooting the air ball on the other baseline.
Well, again, the push up the floor and just really off the bounce on the penetration. Nice dish getting into the teeth of the Michigan State zone. And again, George Mason not backing down from anybody.
Michigan State not trailing.
Foul called on Lewis, his first. Shannon Brown. Ager can give you 30 in a heartbeat. Down the lane. Got it. And the foul.
Maurice Ager, too much off the bounce.
Baskets by Maurice Ager.
You know, he is definitely too tough for Jordan Carter to be able to handle. Again, watch him just on a straight drive to the basket off the screen and roll. No help for Carter. And you can't guard Maurice Ager one-on-one without some help.
Ager went to Crockett High School in Detroit. Senior year, 10-9. Spartans. The Big Ten versus the CAA. Now Lewis posting up on Trannon.
Two football players battling out in the paint.
Trannon wearing the mask. Broke his jaw earlier in the season. Paul Davis running the floor and banks it in.
Well, Jai Lewis played football in high school, been looked at by a number of NFL teams, and one of the question marks is whether he can run the floor with the big people of Michigan State. That time, Paul Davis, nice job beating him down the floor for the layup.
Lewis also with a nice touch from the perimeter. So don't be surprised to see him pull up. Thomas, beautiful hard drive, and the foul. Will Thomas. But Paul Davis at 6'11" can get up and get down.
This may be the most important moment of your life. Commit to it.
Rolling Stone magazine says V for Vendetta is explosive.
Violence can be used for good.
What are you talking about?
Justice.
Natalie Portman is dynamite in the movie that will pin you to your seat.
The only verdict is vengeance.
V for Vendetta.
Kill him. Not tonight.
Rated R. Now playing in theaters and IMAX.
The 2006 Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year. The new Nissan Xterra. Show us your X.
I want to go over a few things before you leave for Oslo. 80 gig, titanium, Wi-Fi, secure. Should you find yourself sans laptop, check in with this. Bluetooth, broadband, built-in camera.
Secure.
If it's on our network, it's secure.
Encrypted, hacker-proof, titanium.
It's a pen.
Security, powered by Cisco.
5, 4, and the crowd goes wild.
Let's put your kids' dreams within reach. Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Shop today and you could instantly win a VIP trip to the 2007 NCAA Men's Final Four or one of millions of Lowe's prize cards.
Don't you know that I'm loving you? In a garden of Vita, baby. Don't you know that I'll always be true?
Need a little flower power? Our retirement specialists can help. Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
And now our Southwest Airlines sideline report.
Well, Tony Skinn, all-conference second team, averaging about 13 points, second leading scorer, has been suspended for one game for that punch right there. And it was not an NCAA-imposed suspension, but Jim Larinaga imposed that suspension to teach Tony Skinn something. You look at his numbers, and we wonder where George Mason is going to get those points. Obviously, a very important cog in the George Mason attack.
And Coach Larinaga saying that he isn't punishing Tony Skinn, he's disciplining him. He wants to let Tony know as Davis gets to the basket that there is always a certain line that you can't cross. He crossed it, and unfortunately, this senior has to sit here in the NCAA tournament.
And despite the seriousness of his act, Skinn was apologetic. He realized immediately that he did the wrong thing. Later on, emailed an apology to the guy he hit, and also to the coach, Tom Pecora, as well as the Hofstra and the George Mason administration. So it's a lesson well learned. Unfortunately, his coach wants to pay the price, so he'll never do it again.
Well, his teammates have to pick him up to make sure this isn't the last game of their season. Tied at 14, Campbell with the basket for Mason on the other end.
Well, right now, they got to pick him up. They got him high off the ground because they're tied and they're competing.
So with Skinn on the bench, Jordan Carter, number 2 for George Mason, will get additional minutes. And they're looking for somebody to pick up that 13 points a game. Neitzel wide open.
Drew Neitzel, three-point
Three-point field goal for Neitzel. And he's the point guard of this team that does a nice job of getting them in their offense, playing good defense, and taking care of the basketball. Low turnover player.
Because both teams doing a nice job executing away from the ball, setting screens, bringing open shooters to the ball.
Lewis taking Trannon off the dribble. Campbell with the step, pulls up 15-footer, and he gets the bounce.
Basket by Fowler and Campbell.
Campbell with 4 points now. 1 point lead for the Spartans. Michigan State 7 of 9 from the field. George Mason 7 of 9. Neitzel. Davis the 20-footer.
Boy, that's what Paul Davis can give you. You know, obviously he's a bull down on the blocks, but still has soft enough touch to step outside up to the free throw line, 10-12 foot off the baseline. Makes him a very tough matchup for your conventional big people.
Davis with 6. Now Lewis posting up Trannon. He's going to use his size, bench baseline. There's the quickness that the NFL scouts are looking for.
Well, I call Jai Lewis a dancing bear because he's got that size and that girth, but those nimble feet.
Neitzel answers on the other end of the floor, 22-18. Great pace to this game. George Mason and 11. Michigan State a 6. Backdoor Lewis, great hands, can't finish. Neitzel again, he's hit his last 2 shots. Skip pass, Ager, explodes, deals it, Davis, and an offensive foul on Davis.
Well, Lamar Butler did an excellent job of reading what was going on. See the baseline drive right there, and Butler steps up. He saw Davis at the top coming down, and that's what you have to do defensively. You got to anticipate the play. You have to see the play before it occurs and get there, and that's exactly what Butler did.
And here comes Gabe Norwood. And he's another player they're expecting to step it up from an offensive perspective. His coach, James Johnson, assistant coach who works with him on a regular basis, says that Norwood is just as athletic as Ager or Shannon Brown. He just doesn't believe it. And they need him to score 12 or 13 points
Boy, how
about
Sammy Hernandez off the bench? He's just going right at the basket. Again, very aggressive is George Mason right now. No back down in the Patriots.
22-20. Here's Shannon Brown. Brown. 8 to shoot. Brown pulls up in the paint. Batted around. Trannon grabbed it. Who has it? We'll head the other way. CBS Sportsline is your destination for complete tournament coverage. Get bracket updates, video highlights, and expert analysis for each tournament game at CBSSportsline.com. Tom Izzo has a national championship under his belt, multiple Final Fours, and he is an intense coach. And at the same time, a nice, lovable coach.
Well, to a man, his guys talk about him as a father figure. They recognize he knows when to be stern and knows when to lighten up.
Hernandez, no. Ripped down by Ager. He rakes it and takes it into the front court. Travis Walton at the point guard spot now for the Spartans. Inside Trannon, across the lane, blocked by Thomas. Trannon gets it back.
See, on that shot, Trannon's lack of a left hand got his shot blocked. Turned into his defender with his right hand in the ball.
5 to shoot. Shannon Brown stops. Ager lost it, knocked away, and it's a shot clock violation against the Spartans. 3 turnovers for Michigan State. 11:20 to play in the first half. We've got a 2-point game.
To the true fan, the whole year comes down to just one weekend. The 2006 NCAA Men's Final Four. In the biggest ticket giveaway in NCAA history, only Pontiac is sending 100 fans to see it live. You have 4 days left to get to your Pontiac dealer. Get your ID number, log it in at ncaasports.com/Pontiac, and see if these seats will be yours when the Final Four comes down to just one. Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA.
Introducing Papa's new Perfect Pan Meats Pizza. Our golden pan crust, deep and square, piled with pepperoni, sausage, ham, and bacon. With a zesty new Robusto sauce. Try a large Perfect Pan Meats Pizza for just $12.99. $12.99. Call now or order at papajohns.com and we'll deliver.
Better ingredients, better pizza, and now a better pan. Papa John's.
Anything in play we should be looking at?
One stock I'm seeing some early interest in is BENG, trading at 19% retracement from a recent high of 20. Looks like we've just completed the second leg of a bullish ABC up pattern.
Only Power E-Trade Pro gives you upgraded charting, trailing stops, and bracketed orders, all for $6.99 to $9.99 per trade, so you can be ahead of the curve.
That's the way I see it. Back to you.
When you get a cold, you can't always slow down, but you can feel better, faster, with NyQuil each night and DayQuil each day. Together, they'll give you the relief you need to keep going. So leave the coughing, aching, and fever behind with NyQuil each night and DayQuil each day. Feel better, faster.
Since you haven't had an accident for over 3 years, I got you a great discount. Okay. And I even got you a discount for having your airbags.
Booyah!
And because you have your renter's insurance with us, you save even more. Now you're covered, so to speak.
Oh, baby Yankee!
Bobby.
Oh! Oh! We good?
Join our 40 million fans as State Farm salutes NCAA March Madness. Call an agent today.
And let's take a look at the game summary.
Well, the field goal percentages pretty much even. And the keys to Michigan State fast break points, they're pushing it up and down. And for George Mason, using their big people, particularly Will Thomas, getting the ball in the paint. Just what they want to do.
Spartans by 2. George Mason with the ball right now as they bring Tim Burns in the game. He's number 12 with it right now. Thomas back it up again. Lefty off the glass, got it to go.
Now we've seen this in the early games. Left-handed postmen, very difficult for the opponent defender to guard or even bother. And Will Thomas, another one of those lefty guys on the post. You saw the defender didn't even get a hand up. Might have been confused. It's just so rare that you see left-handers, particularly down low. The natural tendency is put your hand up on a right-hander where you think the ball is going to be.
Walton across the lane, knocked away. Burns with a hand.
Again, you take a look at Will Thomas, the lefty, backing Raleigh down in the left hand. And Raleigh late getting up there. Again, not recognizing the lefty jumper.
Delco, Raleigh, Trannon head to the bench. Davis and Suton back in for Michigan State. Paul Davis fires. That's a brick. In the front court. And a turnover. As Campbell throws it out of bounds, intended for Will Thomas.
Jim Larinaga, New York product, star at Providence College. Before that, Malloy High School, Archbishop Malloy in New York City. That actually produced Brian Winters, the father of Brendan Winters, we saw earlier today, who played for Davidson. And Coach Jack Curran is a legendary coach in New York City. That's, I think, where Jim Larinaga learned the art of coaching, and that includes how to get young men to be men. And I think that's what he applied to Tony Skinn, the lessons of how to grow up and be a man. And he gets that from Coach Curran.
Lewis a three. Rims off.
And all of that coming from a Power Memorial man.
That's right.
Arch rival of
That's where you went.
Lloyd back in the day in New York City.
The home of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He went there?
Or Lou Alcindor, excuse me. So here's Neitzel along with Walton in the backcourt. Brown, Davis, Suton. Davis double team. Nice pass out of the double team. A wide open Walton. who buries the J.
That was excellent patience by Paul Davis. Again, took the double team, used his size to turn and survey where the openings were. And usually when you're double teamed down on the low block, you look diagonally, you're going to find an open man.
9 minutes to play. 2-point game, Spartans. Norwood. Now on the baseline, Jai Lewis.
Did he dance? Did he dance?
He is a pretty running big man. He's got nice, soft, and light feet. 24-24. Sutan open.
Because Sutan's got an open shot. He's got to be able to hit that shot from the free throw line.
Brown.
Basket by Shannon Brown.
Shannon Brown with 5 points. Hager has 7. Davis has 6. The big three playing well. Also, Neitzel stepping up. He has 6. Thomas kicks it out. Burns. That's his shot. Can't get the roll.
Patience by Michigan State, trying to get the shot they want.
Davis across the lane. That's a nice play.
But Paul Davis, too much size for Will Thomas. And again, if you can get him in the post, he gets 1 or 2 feet in the paint. You got to give it to him and let him work.
Big Paul with 8 points. Spartans by 4. Officials letting them play too. Not a lot of whistles in this game. Lewis needs a screen, lets it fly. The back rim. Sutan tracks it down in the corner.
Again, Michigan State slows it down, run their half-court set, recognizing again the mismatch with Paul Davis inside, and anybody can run off him, but they don't give it enough time.
Shannon Brown drifting on that jump shot. Campbell the other way.
That's what we mean by good judgment. Michigan State has a chance to build a lead, going to Paul Davis, who's got an advantage, and they don't do it. Quick shots.
Will Thomas feels that he can take Sutan. Burns from the parking lot. Lewis snatched it down. Big fella. Go to work. Jai Lewis makes it a 2-point game. 6 minutes to play. And a whistle. Foul called on Walton. Jai Lewis is being scouted by the Baltimore Ravens, the Jacksonville Jaguars as a football player. They better get him early.
Check it out. I got the NCAA March Madness, baby.
You don't have March Madness.
What? Look at me.
Can you follow your favorite teams with just 2 clicks of a button?
No.
Is your bracket with you at all times and constantly updated?
Oh.
Then you don't have March Madness. You have March Sadness.
Check this out.
Singular MediaNet. Latest scores, breaking news, bracket challenge. If you've got Singular, you can personalize your phone for college hoops.
You want to see what else I painted?
No.
Singular, raising the bar.
Great, another Mazda sales event.
With a killer lease on Mazda 3. That thing stomped my Civic.
And it's got more power and room than Civic, Sentra, and Corolla.
Are we the only ones worried about all this?
Apparently not.
Ach du Lieber. What did he say?
It's the biggest Mazda's on the Move sales event yet. Lease a 2006 Mazda 3i for $189 a month for 39 months with $23.89 to at lease signing. Just $189 a month. Hurry to your Mazda dealer for a test drive now.
Introducing the miracle of fusion, a revolutionary technology and a unique idea come together to create new Gillette Fusion.
Until now, pressure caused irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure, with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over. A precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, the precision of 1. The best shave ever. In manual or battery power. New Gillette Fusion.
This is Gary Poole. Married for 10 years, but didn't know it until he had fresh brewed premium roast coffee and a McGriddles. It was like he was seeing his wife for the very first time.
It's like we're newlyweds all over again.
Wake up and smell your life.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines Internet Specials, fly to 61 destinations for just $49 to $159.
What are they doing?
Sweetie, see, when the men shoot the ball through the hoop, their team gets 2 points.
Yeah, they need to switch out of the 2-3 and go box and 1 before that forward kills them with a weak side trade.
And when they bounce the ball, it's called dribbling.
Catch a new episode of How I Met Your Mother, CBS Monday, right after the King of Queens.
6 minutes to play in the first half. Michigan State with a 2-point lead. So let's take a look at the tournament summary.
Again, Northwestern State defeating number 3 Iowa in a big upset, although a lot of people picked it. In the Big East, 0-3 yesterday. The big boys came to play today, 3-0. And that's just the upside and downside of the NCAA tournament. It's going to get even more exciting with these next 2 games, this one and the one after, North Carolina and Murray State. So right now, we've got a good one. George Mason giving Michigan State just about everything that they can handle.
Lewis draws a double and fires a pass. Fleming thought it was for him, and it goes out of bounds. Go to mycokerewards.com/NCAA to play Coca-Cola NCAA Championship Run 2006. Brown curling and a whistle. Illegal screen called against Davis. He was moving, and the official caught him. So Paul Davis, Lenny, picks up his second foul at the 5:36 mark. Has to go out of the game.
And that's one of the big problems that Michigan State has. Paul Davis gets early fouls. Tom Izzo doesn't take a chance. 2 fouls. He's got to sit down probably for the remainder of the half. And many times when you get an illegal screen, it's the guy who's using the screen, not necessarily the screener's fault. The person using the screen has to wait till the screener is frozen before you make your move. That way you avoid the illegal screen.
Michigan State very thin in the front court. Delco Rowley comes in the game, and a traveling violation is called against Lamar Butler.
And for the Patriots,
Will Thomas back in. Fleming heads to the bench.
You know, the danger from George Mason is that, you know, you start playing with Michigan State and you start feeling like you can do anything you want and try to do more than you're capable of doing, which is what happened with Lamar Butler. You got to do what got you here.
Now the ball stolen away. Campbell lost the handle, gets it back, lets it go, and makes it home. Fowler and Campbell ties this game up at 28 apiece. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
And Campbell's move is exactly what I was talking about. Not trying to do more than he's capable of doing. Very poised in that fast break situation.
Neitzel with the ball now. He's hit a couple of big jump shots. Brown pops out, stop and start. Shot on the baseline, no. Will Thomas with the rebound. Diagonal pass. Butler rising fire. Matt Trannon. And he's pushed. Looks like Lewis bumped him out of bounds.
All Lewis has to be is just in the general vicinity, and he's going to give blame, big and strong as he is. But that was definitely a push. And you can see without Paul Davis, that last possession, you know, there's not any stability right now to the Michigan State offense. You know, there's a lot of running around. Stability comes when you have a post guy you can throw it into, force the defense to move. He can kick it back out.
Sutan, no. And it's taken out of the air by Hernandez. Now Butler. Butler has great spring. Inside Thomas. Muscling. Blocked by Sutan. Saved by Ager. Neitzel.
Nice job by Neitzel to avoid the charge.
Ager deep. Knocked out of bounds. And Lenny, that ball must have touched every part of the rim. 3:41 to play. First half. We're tied at 28. The half, Brett Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis will take you out for a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament. And they will get you caught up on all of the latest tournament news, plus a Singular Naismith update. That's all coming up on Singular at the half. There's Matt Trannon. And he's a football player. Inside Brown, knocked away. Butler quickly to the basket. Missed the layup. Thomas with the rebound. Now Butler again.
Good hustle down the floor by George Mason. Thomas running down on the break, following up.
Pull-up jump shot goes down for Campbell.
And that's the reward you get for not giving up on the fast break situation. They got the ball back and got a good shot.
Mason takes the lead. Following Campbell with 8 points. Ager. Now Butler on the move. And Butler throws it away. And you were talking about Matt Trannon.
Yeah, well, Matt Trannon's a football player. How ironic. He suffers more injuries in basketball than he does in football.
They're in the mask right now. Ball taken away by Norwood. Norwood straight to the basket, and he peels it back.
Good exploration. Put the defense on notice.
And once again, a turnover for Mason Campbell. Trying to feed the low post. Will Thomas. And that is the 6th turnover.
And that's what Jim Larinaga is probably talking about, the fact that don't try to do too much. That was a bad angle to try to feed the post. Take your time, play fundamental sound basketball. Don't get caught up in the racehorse style.
Approaching the 2-minute mark of the first half. Mason with the lead. Inside Suton. Blocked from behind by Campbell. And a foul called.
Spartans foul on number 20.
Now Delco Rowley comes back in, replaces Trannon. This has to be the kind of game that makes a coach like Tom Izzo nervous.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got a team right now in George Mason, an opponent that's just playing hard, playing smart, hitting some shots. And here you are, you got your big man in foul trouble. You're trying to find a combination to put on the floor that's going to have some continuity, some rhythm, and it's just not happening right now, yet you're only down 2.
And a foul, and you better believe that these guys at Mason are playing for this man, Tony Skinn. He made a mistake against Hofstra in the semifinals of the conference tournament, but they want to make sure that this senior gets another opportunity to play.
You know, one of the keys we asked about with George Mason is where they're going to get the points. Well, they've been getting the points from just about everybody.
Hernandez makes the first. Critics say the new adventures of old Christine is laugh out loud funny. Julia Louis-Dreyfus stars in the new hit comedy right after a new 2.5 Men Monday on CBS America's #1 network.
Again, even guys like Sammy Hernandez coming off the bench, giving them a big lift.
Hernandez with 3 points. The winner of this game takes on the winner of our next game, North Carolina, Murray State. And I'm excited. I haven't seen him personally to see the freshman from North Carolina.
Well, you know, you'll be very impressed. Very tough, good soft touch. Tyler Hansbrough does the job inside.
Neitzel off the mark, 113 and counting. Butler, along with Norwood and Burns. Hernandez and Thomas in the front court. Mason really patient on this trip. High pick and roll. Norwood turns the corner. Fire! Largest lead of the game. George Mason. Tom Izzo says, let me talk it over. 33-28. George Mason is on a 9-0 run for this 5-point lead. Tom Izzo with some stern advice for his team.
Well, you look at those numbers and what's happened in the last 11 possessions for Michigan. Again, the offense has no rhythm, and a lot of it has to do with the absence of Paul Davis, the guy who can anchor the offense, provide some stability.
Michigan State watching Davis pick up his second foul around the 5-minute mark. Almost a double dribble on Ager. Brown cut off. Neitzel going up high, lets it go. Got it. This kid can score the ball if he wants. Neitzel, though, such a great team player and trying to fit into that point guard role, but in high school, he was a prolific scorer.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what, sometimes your needs are put it in the basket. And right now, his team needs him to put it in the basket if he's got the hot hand.
And Campbell loses it on the way up. At the end of the first half, Mason up by 3. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, guys, terrific first half between George Mason and Michigan State. Meanwhile, in Auburn Hills, Kent State has put on a run to close the gap with the Pitt Panthers. Let's take you there live. Vern Lundquist and Bill Raftery.
Krauser with a pass underneath. LeVon Kendall can't handle it. Here comes Kent State. They trail by 20. And this one will not fall on the reverse layup.
How about Hayes with the blow by? Oh, my goodness. Lingerie on the deck. Kendall didn't even see him go by.
Pitt muscles his way as Krauser goes up. Pitt was up by 20, and Kent State went on an 11-0 run. And the margin right now is 11 with 1:14 to go. Mike Scott picked up that last foul.
Boy, speed off the dribble, huh? Big guys almost unprotected trying to control the perimeter.
Well, Krauser will inbound. Sends it out to Antonio Graves. Keith Benjamin, by the way, ill, not playing tonight. Off the bench, and that's another turnover. That's 6 for Pitt.
Yeah, not a good one either. A little bit forced by them, unforced by the opponent. And Kendall comes out, tried to ride him a little bit with those 2 fouls. This way he doesn't play the defensive end.
Kendall out. Sam Young back on the floor for Jamie Dixon's Pitt Panthers. 5-seeded Pitt, 12-seeded Kent State. Pitt has turned it over 5 times in the last 5 minutes. Remember, at one point they had 10 assists and 1 turnover.
Yeah, they valued the ball very well. I think the defense, as you know, they stepped up by Kent State.
Borzinski just does hang. No, he doesn't. At the other end, off the glass, beauty.
Now, Borzinski should have let it go over. It had been tipped. He wouldn't have had the turnover. Boy, we've seen that the last night, huh?
Yes.
San Diego State. Not sure whether it was a backcourt violation.
Indiana winning that one last night out west in San Diego, or in Salt Lake City, rather. And Borzinski, as Gray lost track of the ball. Pitt will play for the final shot. Shot clock is off. We've got 10 seconds to go.
Usually you got to check out Gray at the end of this.
Fields backs up, cans it. At the buzzer, no, not quite. End of the half, 40-27. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching our 25th Road to the Final Four on CBS.
Hi, we're here for the Taste Revolution.
Great. Excellent, let's put you right there. Come along, excellent. Excellent. A Taste Revolution is brewing.
Hey, make way for CJ. What's this?
It's a kung pao sauce for my shrimp.
Woo! Spicy.
Dip into flavor in a whole new way with Friday's new Flavor Shots Grill. Everyone could use more Fridays.
TV's Best Action is on CBS Tuesday. First, 2 agents ambushed and trapped. NCIS. Then, they fight for freedom in secret.
Going to Indonesia.
But their families pay the price.
You got shot for nothing!
Dennis Haysbert stars in The Unit. TV's Best Action is on CBS Tuesday.
CSI Miami, Monday on CBS, America's most watched network.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
Welcome, everyone, back to our studio for Singular at the Half. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis. Halftime of the games in both Auburn Hills and Dayton. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, 4.5 minutes to play. Albany and UConn are a point apart. Let's take you there live and join Jim Nance and Billy Patrick.
So the Huskies being pushed, even though they're shooting 73%. And this is going to be a foul against Albany and Lucius Jordan.
Jordan was right. He was right down there on Brown, but reached in.
Story here, UConn hitting shots when it doesn't turn it over. 10 turnovers, but shooting 79%, leading by only one. Coming back in, the starter, Brian Lillis at the off guard.
But Jim, you know, when you give it up 10 times, 10 possessions, you know, there's a situation, even if you're shooting 50%.
10 points.
Well, there's 10.
Anderson. And Williams saves it, but not really. Into the arms of Jamar Wilson. Tries to scoop it, but Armstrong got a piece of the hand. Well, the winner of this game takes on the winner of Kentucky UAB on this floor in Philadelphia on Sunday. Armstrong's first foul in Jamar Wilson.
The young man from the Bronx, you can tell he's played a lot of city basketball. You know, he just created a shot on that move, shooting 84% from the foul line.
Ties the game with that one more.
17-7 points per game. He's an outstanding player, and as we said, the conference player of the year.
Levi Levine back in. Brent Wilson sits. And Jamar Wilson, as you said, Billy, conference player of the year out of the America East. Something that Taylor Coppenrath had been laying claim to in recent years.
Levine has had his biggest games against Big East team Syracuse. He's had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals one time, 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 steals another. So Big East fair is not something bothersome.
Great Danes are back in front.
See it? It's a little zone action right now. 2-3 zone.
They took Jamar Wilson out, and they bring Yachty back in. Here he is, 14. The top of that zone.
It's a matchup 2-3 zone.
They have not played zone all year till today. And the shot chased down by Yachty. They had to learn it this week. Boy, Lillis hit the floor and went sliding, but he's fine. Back up.
Gay's kind of laughing because it was a slight trip. You know, that maneuver where they set the back screen for Zollner on the roll, I wonder when they're going to do that again, because he's open twice.
That's double dribble. Got 2 hands on it, Lillis. However, as we go to the break,
Albany by 1 over UConn, 3:15 to play. Meanwhile, in Dallas, North Carolina State trails California by 2 as they approach 1 minute to play. Let's take you there live. Craig Bolerjack and Bob Wenzel.
Now the final 107 of the first half here in Dallas. The 10th seed North Carolina State Wolfpack against the number 7 Cal Golden Bears out of the Atlanta region. Benson and Poe lead Cal with 8 points apiece, while Simmons and Bitterman have hit 6 apiece for the Wolfpack. And Benson puts one down. And a timeout, North Carolina State. 46.9 to play in half number 1. We'll be back to Dallas after this.
If you're looking for the best small SUV, check out the Subaru Forester. Right now, during the Subaru All-Wheel Deal sales event, get $2,000 customer cash on the Subaru Forester 2.5X with confidence-enhancing all-wheel drive. It's Car and Driver's best small SUV for the 3rd year running. Better than the Ford Escape, Honda CR-V, and Saturn Vue.
Every day is a winding road.
Hurry in for the Subaru Forester. The All-Wheel Deal sales event ends March 31st.
46.9 remains in the first half.
Craig, this is a situation where NC State can go 2 for 1. Try to take a quick shot right here. Force Cal to shoot before the end of the shot clock. Harden returns to the bench. 2 national championships at NC State with Norm Sloan in '74. Of course, Jim Valvanos. Doesn't look like they're going to go that way. Just worked for the best shot.
Hard to believe that was 1983, and the Wolfpack that year was a 6th seed, and they went on to win it. 30 seconds on the first half clock. And a whistle in the corner, and that's going to be on Evtimov. Ilyan Evtimov, his first.
Well, that is not what you want to do at the end of the half, especially when the arrow is pointing in favor of the Bears. Evtimov hooks his man in the corner, trying to make something happen. Cal can hold it for the last shot and then get the ball to start the second half.
Andrew Brackman checks back in for Herb Sindick. 20 left in the half. Cal with a 4-point lead and the basketball.
They're going to try to isolate Poe low. Also, Ibaka with the basketball can create at the end of the shot clock. That's what's going to happen here.
He has 6. He has 5. They go to Poe as he muscles in. At the buzzer, it won't go. And it ends the first half.
29-25, California in the lead. Meanwhile, back in Philadelphia, under 3 minutes to play, UConn over Albany by 1. Once again, Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
Josh Boone with a little soft hook has given UConn the lead by 1 with under 3 minutes to go in the half. Huskies shooting over 80%, but have turned it over 10 times. Here's a turnover by Albany. 2-on-1. Denham Brown goes driving through, and it's a block call against Albany. It sure looked like the defender had the position there.
Well, I think that the pass could have been made here to Boone on the other side. He really never established a defensive position, Jim.
Yeah, when you see the second look at it, I agree.
Oh, Albany not really going away. UConn by 1 as the clock winds down on the first half. We'll keep you updated on all that happens. Thank you for joining us. For Singular at the half, we'll send you back to Dayton for the second half right after this.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
In this modern world of super technology, you know what really gets under my skin? When a wireless network. So I switched to Singular's all-over network, the network with the fewest drop calls. And Singular didn't say that. The leading independent research company proved it. So if you keep and get Singular.
Singular, with the fewest drop calls, raising the bar.
My lady, your chariot awaits.
Oh, where's the chicken Caesar salad for the party?
I'm eating one right now.
That's a burrito.
And a chicken Caesar salad. One must peek under its little toga.
It's Taco Bell's Chicken Caesar Grilled Stuffed Burrito. Stuffed with marinated all-white meat chicken, crisp romaine lettuce, tortilla strips, and covered in Caesar dressing. All wrapped up and grilled to go.
I think your chariot's on fire.
For the Chicken Caesar Salad Lovers Burrito, think outside the bun.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
It's time to look at another candidate in the Singular Naismith Watch. Big 12 Conference Player of the Year P.J. Tucker led the Texas Longhorns with just over 16 points and 9 rebounds a game during the regular season. We remind you, you can text PLAY to 87654 on your wireless phone. It's a chance to take the court with Naismith greats at the upcoming Final Four and also to take a shot at $5 million. For more details about this, you can simply log on to cbssportsline.com.
George Mason up by 3 at halftime. And we'll be back to Dayton, Ohio right after this.
Come today. Bring your ideas, your skills. Let's do something different. Something special. Let's build cleaner cars, better hospitals, smarter stores. Let's tap into a million-person mind and let everyone fill their cup. IBM, innovation for collaboration.
This is March Madness on wheels. It starts with the Pontiac G6, bringing more power than Mazda 6 and better fuel economy than Nissan Altima. Pontiac Torrent is the only one in its class with both a V6 engine and sport-tuned suspension standard. And each has a price the competition simply can't touch. Google Pontiac and check the stats for yourself. March Madness on Wheels is going on now.
10 is less than 50. Powerade Option, the low-calorie sports drink.
For back pain
or sore knees,
you need more than support.
You need support and pain relief.
Only from Icy Hot Pro Therapy. Unique neoprene support braces with special icy inserts to dull pain or hot inserts to relax it. Icy Hot Pro Therapy.
Count on it.
Yeah, I have a little attitude, but I've earned it. I've put in the hours. I practice every day. I've learned from the best, and I have no doubt that I can play at the highest level. Right now, I'm guessing I'll end up in either Chicago or New Orleans. Most good jazz musicians do.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us are going pro in something other than sports.
26 years ago, he buried his victim alive. Now he's back to do it again.
Steve lasted 6 hours in the ground. Maybe he will too.
Cold Case, CBS Sunday.
With this spectacular finish, Phil Mickelson captured his first green jacket and America's heart. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
George Mason by 3. Will Thomas has done a nice job for Mason in the first half.
Well, the question mark for George Mason was who was going to fill the hole left by the suspension of Tony Skinn, and Will Thomas has done a tremendous job scoring in a variety of ways. Averages 12 points on the season, and so far he's got 11 tonight.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA basketball tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
The 2006 Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year. The new Nissan Xterra. Show us your X.
Dave's kicking field goals on 53rd Street with the Indianapolis Colts tonight.
Start of the second half, George Mason, a number 11 against Michigan State, a number 6. Mason leading it by 3. As we start the second half, Will Thomas, the story for Mason, has 11 points.
Well, again, the question mark for George Mason was who was going to help fill the void left by Tony Skinn, who was sitting out for suspension. He averages about 13 points a game, but I tell you what, everybody has stepped up to fill that void. Getting a lot of balanced scoring, but it begins with Thomas.
Lewis with 8 points. Paul Davis back in now, playing with 2 fouls. Turnaround jump shot goes down for Big Paul Davis. And Davis now with 10 points, and the winner of this game will play the winner of our next game, North Carolina Murray State, in the Washington, D.C. bracket. Butler in the corner, no. Lewis stripped on the way up after picking up the offensive rebound. Now Now Neitzel the other way. Very solid first half for the point guard. 8 points, 5 assists. Neitzel turns and a foul ball. Touch foul on Butler. Look at Drew Neitzel.
Well, Drew Neitzel, obviously, he's a guy that is adept at creating for others, but there comes a point in time when his team needs him to create for himself. You mentioned before in high school a prolific scorer. There are times when he's got to be a threat, and he's got to be able to execute. Paul Davis on the bench in the first half. Offense out of whack. Drew Neitzel took it upon himself and really did a nice job, particularly from the perimeter.
Neitzel from Grand Rapids. Ager, the Detroiter. Halfway down, pops out. Butler with the rebound. Butler sees a lane, has it rejected by Trannon, but a foul, though.
And that's the athleticism of Matt Trannon. Nice job of forcing the issue, Lamar Butler. There's the foul, and here comes Trannon and literally leaps over Lamar Butler. Yes, he'll do pretty well in the combine.
Yes, he will. Trannon, though, with one more year to play football for the Spartans. He's a wide receiver.
Lamar Butler at the line, shooting 2.
So Lamar Butler at the line. As he misses the first. With NCAA March Madness on demand, you can watch live tournament games on your computer outside of your viewing area for free. Sign up now at ncaasports.com/MMOD. Butler misses a pair. 35-32. Mason. Davis posting, calling for it. Trannon flashes. Takes a 15-footer. Nicely done by Matt Trannon. And the Spartans are within 1.
And I tell you, Tom Izzo will tell you how important Matt Trannon is on that floor because of his versatility. You know, when he was out with that broken jaw, Michigan State stumbled a lot because of bad matchups. There's nobody else capable of playing guys on the perimeter as well as down in the post.
Butler, along with Norwood. Lewis facing on Trannon. Couple of gridiron stars. Inside, no. How cool would it be if down the road one day Trannon and Lewis look back on this game after 5 or 6 years playing pro football?
Oh, they would enjoy it. There's no question about it. You know, you play one sport, actually you play 2 sports, but you excel in one. You always want to let people know you excelled in the other. You got a lot of stories about it.
Ball knocked out of bounds. 35-34 Mason. State can take the lead right now. They spread it for Neitzel. Davis calling for it. Shannon Brown gives it up. Double team and a foul on the baseline. This will go against
Patriots foul number 42.
Mason, and this is the mask that Matt Trannon is wearing. As a matter of fact, it was specially designed by the same designer that put together Richard Hamilton's mask for the Detroit Pistons.
Well, the group of folks who formed the club, his own club, have nicknamed him Trannable Lecter because of the mask and the mouthpiece, and because he eats up opponents on defense.
35-34. Norwood. Will Thomas again knocked away. Stolen by Trannon. Shannon Brown shooting in rhythm. Norwood with the rebound.
Actually, that was a good shot, though. They had the board covered. Brown wide open, just couldn't knock it down. But the Michigan State offense a little more in rhythm right now with Paul Davis out on the floor. Guys are confident in shooting it because they know he might be able to go get it.
And Lewis travels. 9 turnovers for George Mason.
And Jim Larinaga doing all that he can to encourage his guys to continue taking good shots and making good moves. Don't let yourself get down because of certain mistakes.
been quiet offensively. Now Davis forced one up. No.
Oh, that's silly.
Contested nicely, and he picks up his third.
That's silly, and Paul Davis should know better.
Number 40, Paul Davis, his third.
You know, you miss a shot, you don't compound the error by fouling. And he gets double teamed, no question about it. Tough shot, but now you got to concede the rebound. You know, the rebound was less important than Paul Davis having 3 fouls.
So he has to play smart now. Coach Izzo keeping him on the floor with 3. And we have 15:48 to go. Norwood, backdoor jam.
Patriots are playing tonight.
They are playing. Trannon, Brown, and Hager have to start stepping up for Michigan State.
And that means it begins on defense with those two. Knocking loose balls, getting out in transition, doing a lot of things for easy baskets that ultimately give them confidence, so when they pull up for the threes, doesn't feel as pressured.
And a travel called on Mo Hager. 8 turnovers for the Spartans. 15:20 to go. George Mason with the lead.
He's been on the floor for a limited amount of minutes, got 10 points, and he's the stability to the offense. But Hager and Brown, again, I think they do a lot of their damage in the open floor. That means they've got to play strong defense, create turnovers, get out on the break. When they can do that and get some easy baskets, then when they pull up for those jump shots, there's a lot less pressure on them, and they're in rhythm, they're in the flow. But George Mason is not going to cooperate. They're playing very smart basketball, avoiding turnovers, and just doing an overall excellent job of being very balanced offensively.
Lewis for 3. And Trannon pulls it down. The winner here plays the winner of our next game, North Carolina Murray State, a 3 versus a 14. Ball deflected, out of bounds. Nice hustle by Jordan Carter.
And the ability of Carter to shoot the gap means that the screens down on the block that are going to free the Michigan State player going to the corner aren't effective. You got to slow down a little bit, allow the screener to get there and set the screen before you come off.
Norwood checks out. Butler back in for George Mason. Neitzel for 3. That's the guy he wants shooting it down. Neitzel, the key for this team, ties it at 37 as he knocks down the tray. Neitzel, 11 points, 7 assists. We've had 5 lead changes and 9 ties in this game. Thomas, reverse layup. How about that? Will Thomas. He now has 13. Neitzel the other way, and he's pushed and fouled. Near the end of tonight's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. America's brand supports America's best. Chevy and American Revolution. Hager, baseline, Davis, stripped and taken away by Lewis.
That was a fine defensive play by Jai Lewis.
Butler down the lane, leaves it for Thomas, who pounds it, and they are rolling on the Mason bench. George Mason playing some of their best basketball, 41-37, and 11 versus a 6.
And Gus, you're right. George Mason playing some of their finest basketball. But Michigan State has got to realize they're only down 4. George Mason is giving them their best, and they're only down 4, possibly more.
Butler the other way. Oh, rejected. Goaltender.
Oh, man.
Basket goes to
I don't know. I think they didn't believe that Shannon Brown could get up that high. Look at the penetration right here in the last basket by Will Thomas. Butler with a nice job of getting right into the teeth of the Michigan State defense, and there really is no excuse for that. And that Tom Izzo preaches defense day in, day out. You don't let a guard walk right down the road and get to the heart of your D. But on that block, man, did he get up?
Certainly did. Hager. Mason on a 6-0 run. Neitzel partially blocked. Hernandez pulls it down. Campbell. Michigan State has trouble. 45-37, 8-0 run. George Mason.
That was an awesome show.
Awesome.
Hey, would you mind?
No problem.
Me too. So, are you the bass player or the drummer?
I'm not in the band. I'm just here for the Bud Light. Whose pen?
Johnny! Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Who's Todd Schischler?
In leadership, no word is more important than trust. You can trust Chevy, the brand more Americans choose.
See why during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event. Like Silverado half-ton crew cab with more interior room than Ford F-150 Super Crew. Get a 2006 Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab LS two-wheel drive starting at $22,990 after cash back. Or get it for less during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event. See your local Chevy dealer.
Buying a home is more than the number of bedrooms and bathrooms.
Can't imagine making a purchase like that without having someone you can trust.
Somebody with integrity protecting you.
Ethics are crucial.
Honesty and dependability.
I can't call myself a realtor unless I complete ethics training.
Realtors adhere to a strict code of ethics, so you know you'll be treated honestly. Ask if your agent is a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
They live and work by a code of ethics, and that was really important to me.
I won't take all that they hand me down, 'cause once I get started I go to town. 'Cause I'm not like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. And I don't wanna live my life like everybody else. And I don't wanna live my life like everybody else. And I don't wanna live my life like everybody else. 'Cause I'm not like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. 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 Like everybody else.
The game summary by half. George Mason shooting a higher percentage in the second half. Michigan State a lower percentage. And how about Tony Skinn? You know what's going through his mind. Suspended for this game. He's 12 minutes and 40 seconds away from once again getting an opportunity to step on the basketball court. He is a senior. Suspended for this game after the punch against Hofstra in the conference tournament. Ager.
Good ball movement, much more balanced, not as frenetic as their last several possessions have been. And that's what they have to understand. Look, there's plenty of time for the Spartans to dig in, play defense, string together some stops. But 26 points in the paint for George Mason. Will Thomas with 15 points. That's what they got to stop. They got to stop the penetration, and they got to keep Thomas from one-on-one situations. He's the hot man.
Here's Thomas now facing up on Davis. Davis forced him to the sideline. Stolen by Neitzel. Trannon runs over Thomas. And a foul. Make that Campbell. 11:51 to go. Second half, 45-40, George Mason.
Nothing is more powerful than the truth, and the truth is more Americans choose Chevy than any other brand.
See why during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event. Check out Chevy Cobalt LS with an EPA estimated 34 highway miles per gallon. Get a 2006 Cobalt LS Coupe with an MSRP starting at $12,990. Or get it for less during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event. See your local Chevy dealer.
Some things you just can't copy. Like Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. A big, juicy, whole chicken breast filet. Covered with our own fiery blend of cayenne, chili peppers, and spices. For more meat and more heat. Satisfy your craving for spicy with Wendy's original spicy chicken sandwich. Don't clown around with copies. Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
5, 4, and the crowd goes wild.
Let's put your kids' dreams within reach. Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Shop today and you could instantly win a VIP trip to the 2007 NCAA Men's Final Four or one of millions of Lowe's prize cards.
Good news. I got promoted.
Better news. I got DirecTV.
My new office has a clear view for miles.
My DirecTV has 155 crystal clear channels.
I have a $1,700 expense account.
I have over 1,700 movies every month.
I meet with the CEO every Friday.
I meet the Fockers whenever I want.
I just got an assistant.
I just got 3 months of HBO, Star, Showtime, and Cinemax for free.
Can you give me the number for DirecTV?
No.
I don't think she heard me.
Get over 155 channels for $29.99 a month. That's half the price of cable. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Swipe and steal.
George Mason and 11 leads Michigan State at 6. Gus Johnson, Len Elmore with you. This is the Washington, D.C. bracket. The winner of this game will take on the winner of Murray State, North Carolina. 11:51 to go. Ball Davis, the inbounder. Michigan State, Lenny, not getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, one free throw attempt, 1 for 1. Not aggressive enough to the basket. A lot of jump shots beyond the arc. You have to go strong. You have to be willing to take the bumps, and that's very uncharacteristic of a Tom Izzo team, not being as physical as they need to be.
Inside, nice look, Brannon from Walton. And Walton's minutes have increased as this season has gone on. 3-point game.
And again, you talk about good eyes, and Walton had to see through a George Mason defender to find Trannon and delivered it perfectly.
He's from Lima, Ohio. Campbell, three-pointer goes down.
3-point basket, Fowler Campbell.
Fowler and Campbell with 13 now. Balanced scoring for Mason as Davis is double teamed.
Does a nice job of dribbling out, turning and facing to get it out to the open man.
Trannon. Ager, step back three. No, but he's fouled. Norwood got him. And that's his first.
Patriots fouls on number 5, Gabe Norwood, his first, team's 5th. Maurice Ager at the line for the Spartans, shooting 3.
So Mo Ager goes to the line and shoots 3. Ager, the leading scorer for the Spartans this season as he gets the first at 19 a game. He's a 76% free throw shooter. He has 11 tonight.
In for the Spartans, Delco Raleigh for Matt Trannon.
48-44, George Mason and 11 on top of Michigan State, a 6. This is the Washington, D.C. bracket from Dayton, Ohio. The winner to take on the winner of North Carolina, Murray State. 3 free throws for Ager. He's 2 of 3. George Mason has led by as many as 8. Michigan State by as many as 4.
George Mason's done a nice job of scoring in the paint. You know, getting the ball inside to their big guys, particularly Will Thomas, offensive rebounding and running the fast break. They've gone on a couple of significant runs, but Michigan State right within striking distance. It's all about the good defense. They just have to find better rhythm on the offensive end.
And an injured player, Shannon Brown, holding his knee. The key for George Mason, though, is
his second, team's 3rd.
Lenny, they've shot a very high percentage, 61% from the field in this game so far, 22 of 36.
And again, that has a lot to do with them getting the ball inside. 26 points in the paint to Michigan State's 12.
Backdoor Norwood, he's fouled.
Well, Maurice Ager knew that he was beaten. All he could do is reach out and grab a handful of jersey. That's what happens when sometimes you get a little too aggressive defensively. Smart players will use your aggression against you.
Ager picks up his first. Butler from deep. Man, they can't miss now.
You're not supposed to miss wide open shots. That's the problem. Not a man within distance to put a hand in Butler's face.
Mason has been red hot in the second half. Now with a 51-44 lead, knocked away and out of bounds. Neitzel trying to get it to his roommate, Paul Davis.
And here we go again. You let the lower seed get out to a lead or remain close. The higher seed starts to feel a little pressure. You know, it's about poise, it's about experience, and Michigan State has it. A lot of guys on this team on the Final Four team last year.
And Brown is tied up, but Michigan State will retain possession.
But you can't dig yourself too deep a hole. Again, we talked about this tournament. There are no bad teams in this tournament. The teams are prepared both physically, strategically, and mentally to play at this level.
Neitzel rims off. 51-44, Norwood in the front court. And a whistle. This going against Mason, a foul. And let's take a look at what has happened with Big Ten teams in the tournament today. Illinois winning, Indiana coming back to win yesterday against San Diego, Ohio State defeating Davidson today, Iowa taking it on the chin against Northwestern State, and Wisconsin pounded by Arizona.
Well, Arizona serving notice that they're in this thing to win it after having kind of a rocky regular season and conference season. And Indiana, you're right, they certainly dodged one against a very able San Diego State team that just made one mental error that might have made the difference between going home or moving on.
And that sets up a great matchup. Indiana-Gonzaga. Adam Morrison, Mr. Perfect. What do you have, 34 yesterday?
35.
35,
Don't
excuse me.
shortchange the man.
And Campbell, lazy pass, throws it out of bounds. Monday on CBS, find out why critics call Neil Patrick Harris TV's #1 scene stealer on a new episode of How I Met Your Mother, Monday on CBS, America's #1 network. 8:38 to play in the second half. Mason with the lead, 51-46.
You're gonna like these guys, though. They're a pretty good crew. Everybody listen up. This is Levon.
Hey, Levon, I'm 1 team.
You're on the 120 today.
How are you?
So if there's anything you need, just ask these guys. They'll take care of it, all right? Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You ever been around anything this fast before?
Yeah, in my last job.
See how Army training gives you strength for now, strength for later at GoArmy.com.
(51-46), second half. George Mason with the lead as you take a look at the game reset. Each team with 3 timeouts left. George Mason for Coach Larinaga on fire in the second half, 8 of 11 from the field.
Well, this is a team that came into this tournament winning 16 of the last 19, but they lost to Hofstra in the Colonial Athletic Association tournament, and a lot of people felt that it should have been Hofstra here instead of George Mason. But obviously George Mason acquitting themselves very well. All that talk will dissipate at the end of this game.
Shannon Brown really having trouble tonight connecting. He's 2 of 10 from the field, 5 points. side. Lewis stripped by Neitzel. Great play by the point guard. Ager from deep. Bam! Here come the Spartans.
And it all begins with the defense. I mentioned before, get out in transition. That's where Ager and Brown star. And Drew Neitzel just making big play after big play. Doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, although he'll get an assist for that one.
Neitzel, 11 points, 8 assists. Now Lewis facing up on Trennan.
See that little bump he gave?
Loose ball and a foul. Who is it on? It will go against Davis. And that's his fourth.
He's got it. He's got it.
Yes! Hey, let's order a pizza.
Make it a thin crust.
You got it.
Hello?
Yeah, we'd like a large thin crust pizza.
Ralph?
Exactly. And you know what? Make it the way I like it. Loaded with mozzarella and toppings.
You know I hate when you do this.
Wonderful. And another thing, make it snappy because we're starving, right, boys?
Ralph.
Chop, chop.
For Fresh Baked Pizza today, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Hey, great pizza, Ralph. Who delivered?
That'd be me.
Nothing is more powerful than the truth, and the truth is, more Americans choose Chevy than any other brand.
See why during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event. Chevy Impala has more standard horsepower and better V6 fuel economy than Camry. Get a 2006 Chevy Impala LS sedan with an MSRP starting at $20,990. Or get it for less during the Chevy NCAA March Madness event. See your local Chevy dealer.
What's he doing here?
Beats me. Can I help you, sir?
I'm looking for our security.
Yes, sir. Our security is in the network, sir.
This blinky thing is our security?
The security thing is everywhere. The network is, sir.
Let me get this straight. The security is in the blinky thing, and it's in the doohickey next to the blinky thing? This is technical jargon, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Security, powered by Cisco.
There's a line we all cross in our lives. It's the line between what can I have and what do I want? We each arrive at this line in our own time. But whenever that time comes, things will change just a little bit for the better. Right down to the beer you drink. Enjoy the golden, rich flavor of Miller Genuine Draft. It's beer, grown up.
Greg Clark and Seth in New York, back to Dayton after we tell you what's happening in Philadelphia and what's happening. The Great Danes are looking to spring the upset on UConn. It is now a 43-33 lead for the Great Danes.
Making shots, disrupting on defense, and we've talked about it before. When the higher seed gets challenged, the longer that lower seed stays around, the more confident they become.
It's a 13-0 run for the Great Danes. Just keep in mind, a 16 seed has never beaten a 1.
This is definitely true, Greg. And, you know, Albany has a 7'1" senior center inside, Kirsten Zellner. He's got 12 points, 4 rebounds. And I don't think those big guys for UConn are used to playing someone who has a physical advantage over them just in terms of size and wingspan. He's been disruptive.
If there were collars on those UConn jerseys, they'd start to feel a little tight right now. But still, 14 minutes to play. We'll keep you updated. Back to Dayton, Gus and Len.
And Michigan State caught a break. Paul Davis was not called for the foul. Thomas was for George Mason. So Davis shooting 1-1. He misses the front end. And the George Mason club will get it once again. Thomas.
Big miss, though. Michigan State has a chance to tie. Instead, George Mason has a chance to push out the lead.
Lewis backing up on Davis. Shovels it inside, goes out of bounds. And we'll stay right here.
Jim Larinaga, his man gets pushed down. And in his mind, probably knocked down. Lobbying for a call.
13 to shoot. Norwood guarded by Neitzel.
Really, ball pressure is going to make a difference right here. You can't allow them to get back in the heart of your D.
Norwood, the roller, no. Here come the Spartans with a chance to tie it up with the 2. Davis, great position. Ager, catch and shoot, and hits. 3-point field goal. And Michigan State takes a 52-51 lead. 6:30 to go.
That's part of the psychological pendulum right now. Momentum in Michigan State's end of the court. They've got to be able to do something with it now.
And a reach-in foul coming up against the Spartans. Thomas drew a double team, but Matt Trannon fouls him.
It's only the 15th foul, so still not in the penalty. Michigan State has a chance to kind of reset their defense, but George Mason continues to attack, continues to put pressure on the defense. It's a sign of a well-coached team.
And I think Shannon Brown is hurt. They're looking at his leg on the bench right now. Norwood. Campbell, stop and start. Gets to the bucket. Dangerous pass. Trannon dives for it. First down, Spartans.
And that's what you got to do. You got to have somebody who's willing to do that. And Trannon probably a little shaken up as he fell right on the ball. Might have knocked a little bit of wind out of him. But you need a guy willing to do the dirty work, including get on the foot for the loose balls. Take a look at Shannon Brown getting a nice massage on that left knee.
Mason holds on. 14 on the shot clock. 6 minutes on the game clock. Michigan State has scored 8 unanswered points, currently on a 15-6 run.
Mama told you there'd be days like this, Tommy.
Off the dribble, Campbell, the fadeaway, pure. Following Campbell with 15 points.
Again, a couple of guys on this team scored beyond the season average, and Campbell's one of them, only 10 points on the season. And those are the guys that are filling the void for Tony Skinn.
And trying to call for an offensive foul, running over Butler. That's his fourth.
It's almost like Michigan State can't stand prosperity. I mean, they get to a point where they get a lead, they miss free throws. They get an opportunity to get the lead again and they make mental mistakes. Shannon Brown back in the ball game. You know, that's a veteran team, and that shouldn't be happening. Not at this level, not in this tournament. Especially a team whose core remains from a Final Four team of last year.
Preseason, Michigan State picked to possibly go to the Final Four.
And with good reason. You know, they got experienced guys back, talented guys.
Butler. Now Lewis facing up. Lost it. Picked up by Butler, 8 to shoot. Oh, man. And Butler grabs his calf. Michigan State with an advantage. Butler limping up the floor. Ager, he takes a three. Halfway down, pops out. And a timeout called as Mason takes a 4-point lead. Butler on that fadeaway must have tightened up or cramped up.
Loose ball as the dive, and a nice job of getting to the loose ball quickly, but don't really see what happens. Backs up a little bit. As he comes down, it looks as though he grabs that calf. You hope it's merely a cramp. And he can recover from that.
Under 5 to play. 56-52. George Mason trying to pull off the upset. With a higher seeded Spartans, Thomas short, gets his own rebound and sticks it in. Thomas with 17. Campbell with 15. Butler with 11. And Mason answers with a 7-0 run of their own.
And during that run, George Mason just outworking Michigan State. Outworking them on the boards, getting to the loose balls quickly, and not making any mental errors.
Paul Davis in the post. To the basket, and he loses it. Norwood in the front court. Campbell, rising fire. Got it! How about this. George Mason rolling. 61-52. The George Mason Patriots are making their 4th NCAA appearance in school history, 3rd in the past 8 years under Coach Larinaga, and this is their first at-large bid in school history.
Into the game for Michigan State, number 20, Matt Traina.
Their fans are here. Mason on a 10-0 run for its biggest lead. All smiles on that bench and in Fairfax, Virginia.
But if you look on the other bench, not a lot of smiling going on. That'll help it a little bit. But people talk about momentum doesn't mean anything coming into this tournament. But Michigan State only 2-5 in their last 7, 4-6 in the last 10. Really stumbled into this tournament.
Foul called on Neitzel. 61-55. Back right after this.
Introducing the new Chevy HHR. An American Revolution.
Just sit right back and grab some tails, the tails of some tasty shrimp. Sensations now at Applebee's are really worth the trip. Sauteed, crisp fried, or fire grilled, served on a handy skewer. So many shrimp you'll want to plan a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. So join us here this week, my friend. It's time for eating good. Shrimp sensations new at Applebee's in your neighborhood.
Between my 2 phone bills, it's probably about $60 a month.
About $150.
Probably $100 a month.
With Vonage, you get unlimited calls to anywhere in the U.S. and Canada, and all the cool features you could ever want are included. And it's just $24.99 a month.
Call 1-800-399-1355 and get your first month free. This offer is also available online and at these fine retailers.
Vonage, leading the internet phone revolution.
As a growing business, you don't always get the attention you really need. That's where the principal can help. From banking to health plans to retirement solutions, we have lots of ways to help a not-so-big business rise above the crowd. The Principal Financial Group. We'll give you an edge.
Fancy Beach House works with a lot of women, doesn't it?
Honestly, it's like a G-spot with 2 mortgages.
I am not getting one of those Brazilian waxes. I did that once. It was like a hair arrow pointing to my C-section.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Where's my underwear?
The New Adventures of Old Christine. After 2.5 Men, CBS Monday.
Greg Gumbel in New York. Let's update Albany and UConn for you. Albany was rolling, but then here comes UConn. First, he hit a 3, and then Marcus Williams with a block and the driving layup, part of a 7-0 run. It's a 5-point lead for UConn. We'll keep you updated. Let's get you back to Dayton.
George Mason and 11 leads Michigan State a 6 in the Washington, D.C. bracket. Our site, Dayton, Ohio, 3:32 to go. In the second, Norwood goes to the line. He's a 57% free throw shooter, shooting 1 and 1. And he gets the roll. Monday on CBS, Charlie Sheen and John Cryer star in TV's #1 comedy. Catch a new episode of 2.5 Men Monday on CBS, America's #1 network. Second free throw off the mark. Norwood somehow gets the rebound.
Well, it was tipped back to him. Again, Michigan State not doing a good enough job in blocking off. And it's the little things that are hurting Michigan State.
Lewis, no. Lewis, no again. Lewis, yes!
John Lewis.
Big wide body taking up an awful lot of room. And then you add to that the athleticism to go up and go get it.
9-point lead for the Patriots. Brown. Ager. Ager for three. And Butler with the weak side rebound. Under 3 minutes to play. George Mason leading 64-55. And a foul. Big moments today in college basketball. Allen Ray, Kevin Pittsnogle, Jermaine Wallace turned out to be stars in their games.
That's right. Southern Illinois got Pittsnogle. Jermaine Wallace with that last-second shot. And Allen Ray, I was at the game where his eye was injured. And I'm telling you, it was a horrific sight. To see him back and playing as well as he did was only obviously a blessing and a miracle.
Long rebound again, picked up by George Mason. Michigan State struggling now. And Ager fouls Norwood. His second foul.
Spartans foul number 13 and Maurice Ager, his second team's.
Well, I think Michigan State in the last possession kind of made a mistake. You're looking for threes at a time when you need scores. You know, you can get three-point plays if you get the ball inside, if you try to penetrate off the bounce. You don't have to settle for the three, not with 2:20 left.
And Norwood hits the first free throw. Monday on CSI Miami, an agent puts everyone's lives at risk in a new episode of the mega hit drama Monday on CBS, America's #1 network. Largest lead of the game with George Mason. 10 points. Spartans gotta hurry. Here's Ager trying to make something happen.
But even now, you still need scores. You don't necessarily need threes.
Can't get the roll. Davis is there.
That's a big mistake. Get scores. That's it. Go to the hole.
Brown. And a foul called against the Spartans. And Tony is happy. Tony Skinn is a minute and 59 seconds away from resuming his senior season.
John Lewis at the line for George Mason, shooting 2.
Talk about a lesson learned. If his team can pull it out, I think that will be an indelible mark on Tony Skinn.
So this team has rallied around the suspension of their senior Tony Skinn. Masterful job of motivating his team. What do you think? Jim Larrañaga?
I think that was part of it, but like I said, I've known Jim Larrañaga. I know where he comes from. And this is an old school guy that's just teaching a young man how to be a man. I don't think he really thought about motivating his team per se. I thought he thought about staying true to his morals and his conviction and passing it on to his team.
10-point lead. Ager hurrying to the basket. Reverse layup goes.
It just worked out well for Jim Larrañaga.
Well, it's working out well. We have 1:50 to go. Tom Izzo and the Spartans down 65-57.
Introducing Papa's new Perfect Pan Meats Pizza. Our golden pan crust, deep and square, piled with pepperoni, sausage, ham, and bacon, with a zesty new Robusto sauce. Try a large Perfect Pan Meats Pizza for just $12.99. $12.99. Call now or order at papajohns.com and we'll deliver.
Better ingredients, better pizza, and now a better pan. Papa John's. Yeah, we got it.
$65-57 and 11. George Mason out of the CAA leading a 6 Michigan State from the Big Ten Conference with 1:50 to go. That's Tom Izzo, the coach of the Michigan State Spartans. Jim Larrañaga, the coach of the Patriots from George Mason. Now Mason will inbound it on the baseline. Norwood, 6 points this evening. With it in the backcourt, and he's fouled.
Spartans foul number 3,
Shannon Brown called for his 4th. Mason has missed 5 of their last 6 free throws.
Again, on another miss right here. Michigan State does not need to settle for a 3. They need a score.
For the Spartans, Delco Raleigh from Matt
Now Paul Davis and Delco Raleigh check in. Trannon, Walton head to the bench. The winner of this game takes on the winner of Murray State and the University of North Carolina, which will be played next. Tony Skinn is 1:47 away from getting another opportunity to play, this time in the NCAA tournament.
Might be the longest 1:47 seconds of his young life.
He's cool, though. Second free throw for Norwood is good. He's done a great job off the bench tonight.
Again, all they need is scores. I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing this.
Neitzel.
They got big Paul Davis in the middle. Let him go to the basket hard. Let him create something with the defense shifting so you get a much better shot. And I know that's what Tom Izzo is asking. Why are you settling for 3s?
So Mason will go to the line once again. Huddling up on the sideline. Shannon Brown fouls out with 5 points.
For Michigan State, number 23.
Brown on the season, 3rd leading scorer on this Michigan State team at 18 a game.
Well, that's the anatomy of an upset. And you talk about a team on one side. Talk about David playing the game of their lives. And again, without Tony Skinn, you've had a number of George Mason guys step up. And then on the other side, Goliath, even though this is a 6 seed versus an 11, Goliath and Michigan State, a Final Four team of last year, a couple of their players didn't show up. Shannon Brown, one of them, looked as though he was going to have a terrific night early in the game and then suddenly just disappeared.
Hager off the miss, spinning.
Oh,
basket, lays it in.
It makes you wonder, where was that the last 15 minutes of this game?
Into the front court. Lewis over the shoulder. Touchdown. NFL. Watch this kid.
It'll look like a little flea flicker action and all by himself.
Neitzel hits a 3.
Drew Neitzel.
69-62. Full court pressure. And a foul.
Spartans foul number 40, Paul Davis, his 4th.
But Jai with a nice over-the-shoulder grab. Watch this. Watch Norwood put this one on the money.
There he goes. Like I said, touchdown.
Will Thomas at the line shooting.
Not bad for a man that's 6'7", 275 pounds. So Will Thomas misses the first free throw. Michigan State with 1 timeout left.
And for Michigan State, number 5, Travis Walton. For Delco Raleigh.
Walton comes in for Rowley.
And for the Patriots, Jordan Carter for Jai Lewis.
And now Jai Lewis checks out.
All right, here we go. 1 shot. You look at those numbers right there. Obviously, George Mason, if there's a miraculous finish in favor of Michigan State, will tear their hair out, knowing they could have put this game away by hitting free throws.
Carter back in, 69-62, Neitzel, Ager for three, short, rebounded by Norwood. In the front court. Mason holding on now, playing keep away. What a play by Norwood to keep that in the front court and to tip it to one of his teammates. And he got up high.
Well, you talked about Gabe Norwood and his athleticism. You know, one of the more versatile guys on George Mason's team, can play 4 positions. He's smart, too.
Norwood, his brother plays wide receiver at Penn State. Father is a coach there as well. At the line now, Fowler and Campbell. 18 points, first free throw, no. And you're absolutely right. If Michigan State would have looked for 2s instead of 3s, they could have been back in this game.
Yeah, that's baffling me. Just wonder what was in their minds at the time, and I'm sure Tom Izzo's feeling the same thing. All they needed were scores. Didn't have to settle for long desperation threes.
Still time left. 8-point lead. Neitzel looking for Ager.
Now you need to hit some threes, no question.
Neitzel, the desperation three, no. And George Mason picks up the rebound. Will Thomas with 30.4 seconds to go. How about Tony Skinn?
Michigan State foul number 23.
As we take a look at our Chevrolet players of the game, Will Thomas 17 and 11, Neitzel 14 and 8.
Will Thomas at the line for the Patriots.
And Thomas is at the line.
Well, you look at George Mason's bench, and it's not the normal bench of an underdog making an upset. I think because they know what we are starting to find out. Their free throw shooting prevents them from celebrating prematurely.
71-62. Ager.